Be different clothing, bitch.
What's up guys, in this video I went to Moco Museum in Amsterdam, which is a museum about modern art with pieces from Banksy, Andy Warhol, Haring, Kaws and many others. This is actually the second time I visited, but I really wanted to go back just to make a video for you guys, as the day I went was one of my last days before I moved away from Amsterdam. I started a tour outside, which is unusual since you usually visit that part for last. And that's because I was super late, as I was having a massive hangover from the day before, and those were the last moments with sunlight to make some decent clips. So on the outside part I particularly like three artworks. The first one is the one close to the entrance from an Italian artist called Federico Clappis, who made a sculpture called New Race, where there are two people with the phone sculptured on their faces, and I guess the meaning of it is quite straightforward. But the official explanation is that our personalities and identities basically became an extension of our phone usage. The artist also wonders if these create the side effect of more and more people becoming shy because of not used to interact in real life anymore. The second one is the one you're seeing right now. It's called a Snap Cube and it's from Anthony James. Firstly, I was honestly attracted just by the way it looks, as I think it's very cool, but it also has a nice meaning to it. The artist wanted to communicate the experience that some people have of feeling like they are in between two worlds. The sculpture creates the illusion of an infinite space that draws you in. Finally, the last one I liked was the fiberglass red bear sculpture from Wisby called the Vandal Gummy Bear that you saw just a few moments ago. And that one I really liked both the way it looked and its meaning. That sculpture wants to represent a symbol of innocence lost. It's about the idea that we all start life as naive children until something happens that turns our world upside down. Now we are finally inside the museum, and the way they advise you to visit it is starting from the third floor, where we are now, then going down until the first floor, where there are the Banksy rooms, and finally on the outside, which is the part you just saw. This artwork was the mirror with the Time magazine frame, and it was a quite popular one for selfies and bullshit like that, but the girl on my right wasn't amused. Anyway, apparently the meaning of it was to make time visible by showing through the mirror the inevitable changes that affect our bodies with its passing. One of the exhibitions you will see in the museum is called Contemporary Masters, and in case you happen to give a fuck, Moco Museum says that it celebrates artists who stand out for their exceptional contribution of art, culture and the world at large, inspiring us to question it and hope for a better future. Then I kept wandering around the third floor, and there was some pretty nice stuff. And probably also my favorite piece of the museum, which you will see soon. Now in this room you are seeing artworks from the Japanese artist Takeshi Murakami and Virgin Abloah. Rest in peace. In the following room there will also be my favorite artwork, which you will see just in a few seconds, and it is called Dream. I also found the story of the artist who made it very interesting. They are called Icy and Sot, and they are two Iranian brothers who fled the persecution and censorship they experienced in their home country. The official explanation of the piece is that it is composed by big, sky blue letters, encouraging us to dream because sky is the limit. Children have the remarkable power to dream, so let them. As we grow older, the saying "dare to dream" becomes more true and feels like a dangerous thing, but a free mind is a powerful thing. So guys, that was my favorite piece, and I think that because I have experienced that most people nowadays have no real dreams and no objectives at all. Most people just complain about their job, but have no dreams to chase in their free time, which they instead spend doing mindless activities that almost everyone else does, in a never-ending loop until they retire and die. What do you think about it? Write it down in the comments below. What you're seeing now is the Kaws room, where all the artworks were made by him. I think it's pretty cool stuff. He used to be a graffiti artist. Soon you will also see a short video explaining his artistic journey. But he basically started with graffiti and became famous vandalizing luxury brands' billboards until those same brands started to hire him to work for them. And after that, his popularity exploded worldwide. He is an American artist born in New Jersey and right now is almost 50 years old. And you might have seen some of his many collaborations with toys companies. In fact, his toys are pretty popular and quite expensive. Just one of them can retail for over €1,000. There was also some useless controversy, at least in my opinion, about the very high prices of his artworks, where in the end the artist admitted that they were not worth that much. However, I believe that it's just a stupid controversy where the artist just said, you know what, you're right, who cares, I'm rich anyway.
Hey fellas, look what I found in my pocket, look, a year's salary right here. What I call them? coupon. See that? A fun coupon.
I'm on the sloop, John B. Grandfather and me.
Because from a strictly monetary perspective, everything is worth just what people is willing to pay. So until you have people who is willing to pay that much, then his artworks are worth that much. It's just that simple. The artwork you're seeing now was made by a French street artist and photographer known for fly posting monumental black and white photographs around the world, and his name is JR. The piece is called The Gang Chronicles, A Story of America. The work paid tribute to the artist's Emmy Award nominated project with Time magazine called Guns in America. Let me know what you think about this piece in the comments, and also what do you think about the problem about guns in the US that nowadays is often brought up by media and not only. The last piece that you will see on this floor in just a few seconds is an NFT, and it's called The Hero and was created by Marina Abramovich, who wanted to express the need of heroes that can inspire us to go through the everyday's constantly changing and uncertain landscape. Now we are finally on the second floor, where there was the NFT exhibition called The New Future. What do you guys think about NFTs in the art world? I remember when around 2021 there was the NFT boom and people were throwing money at them, hoping to become rich from a day to another. And then after that, many NFTs lost most of their value, leaving those people even poorer than before. However, I believe that buying some NFT artwork from an artist because you genuinely like him or her is the best thing to do regardless of the actual or future value it will have. Anyway, Moco Museum says that they are one of the first in the world to share such an exhibition with the public using the blockchain technology. They say it involves 12 artists and it's in constant evolution, so artworks change quite often. Anyway, I thought there were some entertaining artworks to look at in this NFT exhibition. Let me know if you guys liked it and if you had a favorite one. Among my favorites there was the one by Wisby, which is the same artist of the Vandal Gummy Bear statue that you saw before outside. Then I think the NFT's artworks from Beeple are very interesting and funny. I suggest you to Google him. An interesting fact about him is that he did a project where for 5,000 days in a row he created an NFT artwork, then he made a collage out of all of them and sold it for over $69 million. In the next room that you will see in a few seconds, you will see artworks from Jean-Michel Basquiat, Andy Warhol and Keith Haring. While Andy Warhol is very well known as the initiator of the so-called pop art, and before that he was an ads graphic designer, both Keith Haring and Basquiat are associated to graffiti in their artistic pasts. I personally don't like Basquiat's style at all, and Andy Warhol was a game changer, but his art does not interest me much. But Keith Haring has a quite cool style, very recognizable. He started doing his graffiti inside the subway stations in New York City, where he used to draw his art with a white chalk on the spaces that were reserved for ads billboards. It is quite sad that he died in his early 30s by HIV, and also Andy Warhol and Basquiat had quite sad stories behind them. Basquiat was an heroin addict and he died at 27 for an overdose, while Andy Warhol died at 58 for complications following a surgery to remove his gallbladder. The artwork we are seeing now was one of the most interesting for me within the second floor. It was made by Japanese artist Hajime Soroyama. I probably mispronounced that, but anyway, it takes inspiration from science fiction, futurism, cyberpunk, and it challenges people to question the boundaries of humanity and technology. Now you will see a famous quote by Banksy that says, "If graffiti changed anything, it will be illegal." What do you guys think about this quote? Let me know in the comments. Actually, the quote has quite an interesting story. It's coming from one of his murals in London at Clipstone Street. He did that one in 2011, and he also depicted one of his iconic rats below the quote. An interesting fact is that he referenced a quote by a political activist called Emma Goldman, who was campaigning for women's rights, and she said, "If voting ever changed anything, it would be illegal." Now we are heading to the last room of this floor, where there is a neon artwork from an artist called Tracy Emin and also a few sculptures. The Nike sculptures are from an artist called Frankie Hollywood, while the man with the mask is from an Italian artist called Francesco Tonarelli. To be completely honest guys, I never heard about any of them, but you guys let me know your opinions. Finally, there is also quite a nice quote from the legendary Invader, and also one of his very recognizable artworks. I also spotted one of his artworks in one of my first videos I made going around Amsterdam. Check that out if you want. So this was it for the second floor. We will be heading to the first floor now, where there is the Banksy exhibition with some of his most popular pieces. There were many very famous artists in this museum with a background of street art and graffiti, however Banksy is surely the most popular among them. Banksy is also a very discussed artist. He receives a lot of hate from the graffiti community because the usual argument is that it is a sellout and that his stuff is not real graffiti, and other comments around these lines. Personally, when I look at art, I like to see the talent, the skills of the artist, and most of all, the only thing I care about is do I like it or not. Everything else is just irrelevant for me. The typical comments of sellout, it is not graffiti, it is not that. I believe that in most cases they are just a bunch of nonsense. The discussion going around the definition of graffiti is an endless one, with people say that graffiti is only lettering, it cannot be characters, it must be done with spray cans only, and so on. I've heard so many things about it. I also wrote a blog article about the difference between street art and graffiti on my brand's blog. I will put the link in the bio for those who happen to give a fuck. Anyway, the biggest difference, in my opinion, should be the legality of the artwork. If it is made illegally, it should be considered graffiti, otherwise not. Then someone might do an artwork with his iPad, for example, and do a lettering that is graffiti style. Then we are talking strictly about the style aspect. As of course, doing it digitally or on a piece of paper, it's not illegal, and so many people would say, well, that's not real graffiti. Anyway, it's a tricky and endless discussion. Let me know what you guys think in the comments. Now, a few interesting facts about the Banksy exhibition you're seeing now. The first artwork was the counterfeit 10-pound notes called Defaced. Those notes were printed on both sides and they were made for a public stunt which involved dropping suitcases full of fake notes into the crowd at the Notting Hill Carnival and also at the Reading Festival. When people got their hands on the fake money, they still tried to use it at the festival and elsewhere, and sometimes also successfully. The name of the artwork, Defaced, refers to the fact that Banksy changed the British currency by replacing the portrait of Queen Elizabeth II with that of the Princess Diana as a critique to the British royal institution. Also, if you look at the note closely, instead of Bank of England, you can read Banksy of England. Under the banner, there is an inscription that says, "I promise to pay the bearer on demand the ultimate price," which is an allusion to the fate of the Princess Diana. Finally, below George Darwin figure, the bills reads, "Trust no one." The note is printed with inks on paper that are nearly identical to those used on official UK issued currency. Now you are seeing the so-called girl with balloon, which is one of the Banksy most famous pieces, and that you also saw in the thumbnail of this video, unless I changed my mind, which is very possible. In that case you didn't see it. Anyway, the artwork depicts a young girl reaching for a heart-shaped balloon just out of her grasp. Some people say that the girl is losing the balloon, while others see her about to catch it. Now we are about to go on the ground floor, where there is the digital immersive art exhibition by Studio Irma. The exhibition is supposed to celebrate connection and introduce the so-called connectivism as a new art movement. The bottom line of this movement, as far as I understood, is that when we allow ourselves to be guided by compassion and empathy, we arrive at a brighter tomorrow. I mean, I read this thing, I didn't just understand it by visiting the exhibition. Keep it real, as Banksy will say. This exhibition includes different installation art rooms designed and created by 5 different artists. The artists who created this exhibition say that we all live in bubbles, which is a unique universe of information, and subconsciously our bubble is formed by society, specific tastes, and shared ideas. But the artists wonder, inside these bubbles, how do we grow? I think this is a very interesting concept which in a way reconnects with what I say at the beginning of this video when I was commenting the artwork named Dream, by saying that in my experience most people just seem stuck in pre-established paths by society, such as study, make a family, retire and then die, and in their free time they have no projects, no objectives and no dreams at all, which is quite sad in my opinion. Now this exhibition is supposed to be a sensorial experience involving mostly your sight, of course, and your ears. So for a few minutes I will leave it to it, and you guys let me know in the comments what you think about it, if you liked it or not. Overall I think it was a nice experience, and I would overall recommend to visit the whole museum if you are ever in Amsterdam. But again, you guys let me know what you think. Finally, by the very end of this exhibition and also of this video, you will see a couple of minutes of the 9-minute graphic film called Arcadia, which is a short movie that journeys through our collective 21st century existential crisis. It is a collaboration between an artist, a musician and a poet. The short movie is composed of 5 chapters, and it emphasizes that through art, beauty and creativity we self-express and we have the potential to become more of what we authentically are. Anyway, I think it's a nice movie. It has a very deep meaning. I recommend everyone to go on the internet and look for it and to watch it entirely. And again, let me know what you guys think in the comments. See you in the next videos. Cheers.
Album art for a second album.
Welcome to the current. You're not asked if you can swim. You've no choice but to tread water once your parents push you in. Don't you know you must compete with a billion others like you? If you stagnate, you're obsolete, and others will race past you. Embrace the current, the rushing, swelling tide. Keep swimming fast and faster till the life in you subsides. We keep waiting for tomorrow, but it will never come. Every day is all the same, the time you can't outrun. You keep looking to the future, as if that's when you'll be, finally at peace, and finally happy. All the lives you wish you'd lived, do you feel them slowly dying? Do you feel that it's too late for the old you to start trying? Our media, our feeder, has altered our environment. Tablets glow, illuminate, seldom with enlightenment.